Welcome back to Worldview. Now, joining us today on the program is our old friend Andy Chyba. He's a member of the Green Party here in South Wales, particularly in Bridgend, and indeed he's actually going to be standing for European Parliament as the Green Party's main candidate from Wales. Andy Chyba, welcome back to Worldview.
Afternoon, Dennis. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. Now, it's been a fairly eventful 24 hours, and before we go and talk a little bit about what's happened yesterday in Sussex, I'd like to begin by getting your take on why you think the UK government has all of a sudden, during the very quiet summer months, used this period to exploit all of the possible loopholes to put fracking on the fast track.
I mean, this is just typical of the Tories, attitude of the Tories at this point in time. It's all about greed, and short-term profit rather than long-term considerations.
Are you alarmed at all at the way that the government here in Wales has sort of also joined in the bandwagon and said quite simply that they were very much for study now? I've heard in letters and the like from Carwyn Jones, for example, that it's now being considered a transitionary fuel, fracking. Talk a little bit about the way you see things going here in Wales.
It's been deeply frustrating here in Wales. I mean, the Carwyn Jones is actually my assembly member as well as the First Minister, and he steadfastly refused to take any meaningful stance on it. I mean, they keep trotting out this myth about it being a transitional way forward, but that would only hold any sort of credibility at all if they were looking at the longer term real alternatives of investing in renewables. It's just a convenient excuse for them to pursue what could be argued as slightly less damaging fossil fuel exploitation. But I mean, that's we know all about the myths behind that now, and it just doesn't hold water. And it's very difficult to understand why the Labour people in South Wales. I mean, a lot of the traditional old socialist Labour members, again, very, very frustrated with the Blairite Labour leadership that Carwyn Jones represents these days.
It is very frustrating to watch, and particularly in light of what we just saw with the just before everybody went out on holiday from Westminster. There was this statement that was released basically saying that when it came to matters of energy, ecology, basically anything related to hydraulic fracturing or oil extrusion, etc., that they were planning as the Tory government to take away any ability to act from the local authorities. Talk a little bit about what that would mean.
I'm kind of hopeful that we might have some respite from that here in Wales, because I was just reading this morning that those powers that they're pushing through via Westminster may not actually happen here in South Wales, and there may be some opportunity for us here locally to avoid that rather calamitous and cynical move that the Tories are trying to sort of push out across England. And I think that's partly what's fueled the upsurge in fury that we saw in Balcombe yesterday, because people are starting to wake up to the fact that local democracy is being undermined in such a sort of cynical way.
We're talking with Andy Chyba. He is the Green Party's main candidate for the European Parliament here in Wales on Worldview with Dennis Campbell. Now, speaking of Balcombe and the situation there with what's gone on in Sussex, yesterday was a pretty calamitous day for those of us that do peacefully demonstrate and try to bring the case across. Tell us a little bit about what happened in Balcombe and why it's of such great significance.
It was a call out across the land for activists from all over the country to go and help support what went on down in Balcombe. It's quite interesting actually the reporting of it. I'm finding quite interesting, because most of it, I mean, if you look at the papers today, the only significant coverage of it is actually in the Telegraph and the Mail, and a little bit in the Sun as well. And they're trying to sort of make a big issue out of the fact that some well-known activists that have been involved in other campaigns around the country were down there and trying to sort of suggest that they were there sort of, stirring up trouble and so on. But I've got very close links with a lot of the local people there. The vast majority of people there yesterday were the locals. we've got friends from South Wales that did actually go down and support, but we know those people, both of us, Dennis. They're not violent, aggressive sort of people, and it's the same old story of heavy-handed police presence there. People were peaceably just blockading the road. There was pretty much a carnival atmosphere with musicians and all sorts of things going on, and heavy-handed police presence, understandably, made some of the scenes a little bit more ugly than they needed to be.
How do you explain the militarization of police forces to the point where, I mean, there was one photo, and we'll run it here just over what we're talking about, in which somebody was applying a very, very torturous, almost a chokehold of sorts to a pressure point right behind the ear, and you can clearly see that gentleman is in complete agony, and yet they're just sitting there peacefully. Talk a little bit about what that actually means in terms of how do we, as private citizens, stop these types of actions going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen those pictures. I mean, and I think there needs to be some sort of big fuss made about that. There needs to be some sort of inquiry. It's just completely unacceptable. I really struggle to understand where that's coming from. I mean, these people, the police officers involved there, it wasn't just one of them. You see one picture, there's 2 or 3 of them all in a row, dragging people off with the same hole, with the same sort of pressure behind it. So it's clearly something they've been trained or instructed to do. Now, we need to get to the bottom of who's giving those sorts of instructions and making those sorts of orders to act on essentially peaceable citizens sitting in a road. There was no weapons, there was no threat to the police whatsoever. Dragging people off is one thing, but when you start talking about those sorts of things, I mean, that is completely and utterly unacceptable. And we will have to get to the bottom of that. And whoever's responsible needs to take responsibility for that.
Now this site was operated by Quadrilla, which is obviously controlled by Lord Brown of the Upper Chamber of Parliament, and of course we have George Osborne's father-in-law, who's very actively involved in the oil industry, sitting on a board created by BP and Shell. I guess the veneer or the patina of impropriety is there just simply because these people are in such positions of power. How do citizens become more aware? Because it appears the media is just as complicit of what is actually going on, and why is it the stories about the environmental impact of this are not getting through?
It's very difficult when you've got the full force of the media behind you, trickling that out day in day after day, to actually fight against it. But that's we really have got to take that battle seriously and do whatever we can, and that's why I'm always more than willing to take these opportunities that you present as well. I mean, every single avenue's got to be exploited to try and get the message out there to the people that you cannot trust these people. I mean, that's part of the reason why I ended up in the Green Party, because hopefully, we try and do things a little bit differently. We're patently not here on the expectations of being elected, because at the moment, we're a country mile away from that. But we've got to have some sort of sincerity, some sort of principles involved in our politics and in our sort of public discourse on these issues. That's part of the reason why I've always argued against trying to inflate our side of the argument when it comes to fracking. What we know, what we definitely know, and what we definitely don't know is scary enough. We don't need to embellish it at all. And I think that sort of integrity, I think, is starting to come through. And the sorts of scenes we saw yesterday, where you did have the vast majority of just normal citizens from the Balcombe area there, most of which have never been involved in getting on the streets for any cause whatsoever in the past. That shows that the message is starting to trickle through.
Well, it's a massive issue. I mean, to get the word out. Thanks, Andy, for joining us today.
Hi, you're more than welcome anytime, Dennis.
Speaking with Andy Chyba, he is a member of the Green Party, and he will be standing for election across all of Wales for our European Parliament. You're watching Worldview with Dennis Campbell. Stay right here.